What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode in the Unleash Potential podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Haji, alongside Mr. Guled, Mr. Almi, Mr. Jabbar. How you boys doing, man?
I'm alright, man.
Doing good?
Yeah, man.
Alhamdulillah.
Two weeks of seeing the G-Man, you know?
Oh, mate.
Exactly, yes. I think G-Man is now the permanent replacement for anybody who's missing. Since Omar Hassan was away for about 2 weeks, we got Guled on standby.
Yeah, you too, and you were away.
Exactly. So that's what, 3 weeks for you on the podcast?
Oh, man,
Yeah,
I don't know, wallahi.
Hey, I think
Just another one.
Man, the guy's very ambitious, man. Soon we should give him a...
He gives us coffee every time he comes through.
Oh,
Mate,
yeah,
mate,
love that,
mate,
man.
mate.
Love that.
Man, bro.
Boys.
How you guys been, man?
Been alright, man.
How's your week been? Anything else?
Week's been hectic, mate. In terms
Yeah.
of work, done 50, 60 hours work this week.
Yeah, he's got smashing the OTA.
Smashing it. Some people call it free money, but I don't know. You know? Wow.
Finally, somebody who works more than Almi, huh?
Yeah, 2 workaholics here, man.
Wow.
But Sunday is just, this morning I had a good day, you know, went out with the family, had breakfast, kids, you know, balance. And now I'm here with the boys.
Man, I had the opposite morning to you, man.
Yeah.
I've been throwing up all morning. Yeah, everything I eat, I don't feel sick, but anytime I put anything in my stomach,
I remember
throw
you
up.
saying you were cutting down on your takeaway. Did you
Oh
raise it
yeah,
up again?
oh yeah. I cut it down, bro.
No,
I cut it
is
down.
that why you're
bro.
vomiting, eh?
I've been no, that's not why I'm vomiting.
Maybe you had the wrong food.
Who was it yesterday? One of the guys as well was sick yesterday. I didn't get it from him. I'm wondering, like, he's like, bro, I've been feeling sick. My stomach is upset. I'm like, what did you eat? I didn't eat anything, bro. I had waffles, fried chicken, and a milkshake. And I looked at him. I was like, yeah, some fried chicken and a milkshake. And now you're
Yes.
complaining about your stomach.
I don't understand people that can eat oily food and then
Have
milk
milk.
straight
That goes
after
off. That's actually goes off, eh?
No, it goes off.
Yeah.
I agree with you,
But here's
but
the
then
thing.
you've got to have a strong stomach. Like me,
Yeah.
I've got a strong stomach. I'm okay.
I can eat anything.
Like having
bro.
meat with milk.
Yeah,
like
things like that.
burgers, fries, and a
That goes
milkshake.
hard,
Classic
bro.
American meal. You
No,
know?
it goes hard. It goes hard.
Who put the ano?
And I know we're probably going to face a bit of backlash from the viewers,
Yeah.
but
Listen.
you've got to have a strong stomach.
All the lactose intolerant people are gonna have our backs on that one, though.
This milk right here, cuz.
Soy,
How do
yeah.
you, mate?
Almond milk.
What is this? What flavour is this?
I don't know, man.
What do you
It's
get?
Probably a bit of
Ask
anagelo.
coffee?
Pretty, you know? I'll tell you
I know
what,
it's
mate.
good.
Yeah.
Before this podcast, you,
Yeah.
you said you had some stories for us, man. You want to share those stories?
Stories are, mate, I have a lot of stories.
Chuck one out.
Check one out. Probably the funniest stories was Aic Days, eh?
Yeah.
Are we going there?
Huh?
Are we going there?
Oh,
you
mate.
want to open that trench up
Yeah.
and go down the hole?
I don't think so, man.
Especially with the infamous G unit.
G unit here with us. Not G man.
I don't think,
He went from a G unit to a G man, bro.
Yeah.
mate, AIC was hectic, man. Last time, a couple of weeks ago, I went
Explain what AIC is to the people first. though. They
Australian
don't know.
Islamic College is a school we went
It's
to.
our high school.
It's a high school, yeah. For the
Our
viewers who
primary
don't know.
school for me too.
Yeah, even primary, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was, it's changed now. Have you guys been there lately?
Bro, it changed huge. You remember the tennis courts next to the basketball courts near the science
Yeah.
building?
Yeah.
That's all undercovered area now. It's a huge fence over the huge shed over the whole thing.
Do you know that little pitch we had in front of the A block, A and B block? That's
Yeah.
also
Oh,
undercover as well.
The
Where we used to play-
quadrangle.
Yeah.
The quadrangle.
Indoor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The
I'm talking
quadrangle,
in
the
front,
quadrangle.
in front of the toilets and A block, B block.
Science block.
No,
No,
A
the
block, B block,
quadrangle
gardeners
there.
class.
Oh, yeah.
the
quadrangle,
grass
yeah.
out there, it's undercover now.
Is it undercover?
Yeah.
Wow, it's changed.
Big time, bro. That
Why did they do it
camera-
when we were there?
They did.
Because do you
trying
remember
to
what we
handle
did
us.
on the first day of year 8? Do you remember what we did?
Oh, my God.
Oh man, they try to handle us. They didn't try to like fix the
You guys
school
remember
after
Mr.
that.
Morgan?
I remember Mr. Morgan. I
Oh,
remember
man,
Mr.
I used to visit his office every day, I think.
Yeah. Oh, pretty much. Remember who was the bald principal at like a
Tabasky.
short.
The bus.
Tabasky.
Bro, there was one time I got so weirded out by him. He just recently became the principal, whatever, acting principal, something like that.
Oh.
We're sitting in class. Class is going crazy,
Yeah.
right? And he's walking down. I spot him first. You know,
Yeah.
he's walking down. He can see us, so everyone kind of sees him. You know, shapes up.
Yeah.
He walks straight up to the window, and this is like a.
Oh yeah, and he used to
Staring in the
stare,
window.
yeah?
He's
I
literally
remember
put his
that.
forehead to the window,
Yeah.
and he
He
was
was
staring in
staring.
the window. And then he walks around, and we're all sitting there like, we're done. We're done. He walks in. First thing that came out of his mouth, he goes, "Do you guys know what a goldfish is?" And we're all just sitting there looking at each other like this. You know what I
We
mean?
had a few of those teachers.
Yeah.
Goldfish.
Yeah.
Who asks questions like
And
that,
that's after staring at the class for straight 3 minutes through the window.
Listen, my first.
That's the principle.
That's straight drugs, mate.
But, I
do
mean,
you
you want to
mean,
tell
man?
you one of
Yeah.
the first experiences I had in AIC since you didn't go?
Yeah.
Was sitting in class, and our windows, you can slide them up. You know what I mean? They're like huge windows that you can slide up. So we're sitting in class, and the teacher had to go somewhere. It's her first
Just
day.
before you continue that story, I would just like to say that I can neither confirm nor deny the facts of this story.
Okay. All right. No names shall be.
Were you there or what?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
A couple guys had got into an argument, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
There was only enough chairs and table for everyone in the class. So
Yeah.
he tossed his chair right out that window. And we're on the second floor.
Wow.
So he tosses his chair out the window. Then the other guy tosses his chair. And then, everyone's helping each other out. Next thing you know, there's only one chair in the class. I'm sitting at the back of the class.
Yeah.
Teacher comes back in, just wondering, what the hell? Like, the whole class, there's no tables,
Everybody's standing.
there's no chairs, there's nothing. And then the teacher from downstairs got, like, he walks up, he goes, "Hi guys, how's it going?" Like, calmest I've ever seen him. "Hey guys, everyone okay? Oh, that's good. You guys having a good day? Oh, that's good." I was having a good day until it started raining tables and chairs. He started going off, man. 'Cause his class was right underneath us.
And he was the year coordinator as well.
Yeah, that was first.
I don't know if you remember.
That was the first 20 minutes
That's
of the
crazy,
first period of the first year of high school.
Oh, yeah.
First period of high school, I remember, because towards the end of the period in B block,
Yeah.
Khan,
Oh yeah.
Khan's class, I was there, and all you can hear, this is a sign to know when the class is finishing. Every other class, they start hitting the tables and they start making noise, and
Yeah.
you're just looking like, "What's going on?" Oh, time's up.
Time's
Time's
up.
up.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if they don't get out the class, they start banging on the door. too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
oh,
crazy,
bro.
I remember
Classes
Brother
are
Khan.
over.
Wallah, I remember, wallahi, man. To be honest, I see him every day because he prays at my local mosque.
Yeah.
And Brother Khan, man, I said to myself, "Subhanallah, I used to give so much trouble to this teacher, and right now he's looking at me like, is this Guled?
Do you know he's the principal now?
Of what?
If not Kudel though.
No.
No, I think he is.
Is it Kudel?
Mr.
No.
Khan.
Oh, yeah, you're
Abdullah
right.
Khan has like the entire
No,
all three.
you're talking Abdullah Khan.
Yeah, Mr. Khan,
I'm talking
the
Muhammad
physics
Khan.
teacher. Yeah,
The
Muhammad
maths
Khan.
teacher.
He is
Physics and
he
maths,
is
yeah.
physics. Yeah,
Yeah,
he I think he is the
I
principal.
was there with him.
must be
the
recent
I
then.
think.
Last 3
Very
years.
recent,
of high
very
school.
recent.
Yeah.
I was in his class the last 3 years. of
What
high school.
about exam times?
Oh, I remember
Exam
one
times.
time I was sitting. You know,
You
we
know
had
the whole.
we had social studies, right? And in social studies, I remember it was year 10. And in year 10, it's when you get to pick what classes you do for year 11, year 12 to graduate. And we shifted down a period. And I wasn't doing any so I didn't need to pass my SOS exam because
Yeah.
I wasn't taking any courses afterwards that needed it. I needed to pass my maths, my physics, my chemistry, all that sort of stuff. So it came down, the last exam was SOS, and I was just like, I'm not having it. You know, I've been studying for so long. I just put another brother's name down on my page. I put Abdi Kenny down. I just started writing. I just started writing like just rubbish in there, and I walked out in the 10 minutes, bro. Because the reason why was the teacher that was there didn't know me. So she said, "Oh, thank you, Abdi Kenny." And she took it, she sat down, I was gone, bro. 10 minutes of that exam.
That's crazy.
I was gone.
Trouble.
And you guys, apparently that day,
Yeah.
you guys tore that exam room apart.
Just picture this. There's about, I don't know, how many were we? 100, 200, 300?
Yeah, fair
About there, in a gymnasium. Yeah? And the gymnasium split in two. One section facing this way, one section facing that way. And you've got about, what, maybe 4, 5 teachers roaming around the entire gymnasium to supervise the exam. Somebody out of nowhere, this person's probably doing the exam.
Yeah.
Looking down, all you hear is, the next person starts with him. Next minute, just picture all the tables and chairs, papers, pens, everything in the air.
That's
Like
crazy.
you know those little scenes in a movie where you see like everything is just goes up and freezes mid-time. Just imagine that, just everything goes up. This is an exam, end of term exam. You know what I mean? Like it carries heavy marks. The whole school just goes rampant. Everybody runs out.
I remember my exams.
but
I used
what-
to cheat. I used to cheat my exams, eh?
How? Please tell us how.
Because you know, at school had to, you know, the uniform,
Yeah.
the blazer, all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had to wear blazer.
Yeah.
And then
you had the
a little pocket, you know.
Yeah.
Man, you guys had 3, 4. I think we had 2.
Oh, you guys are okay.
Lucky,
Old
bro.
people.
Yeah.
Man, they don't know. They don't know what's going on.
going
I
on.
remember one would be at the front,
And one would
you
be
know,
at
at
the
on the desk with the time. One would be at the back, slowly walking like that. You know. towards- and I see just be like this. Bring it out. Just like, you know, when you act like you're scratching.
Yeah, you're
yourself.
scratching.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
And he
nah.
looks at him shaking.
Yeah, he's thinking.
I didn't do really well in school, but I passed my exams,
We
so
just
it
used
helped
to-
out, you know.
We just used to switch exam papers. I'll do everything I know, you do everything you know.
Yeah.
Switch exam papers,
Yeah.
fill out each other's
Yeah,
mistakes.
but you guys had like 200-300, man. There was only like maybe 30-40 in like,
Nah,
per exam. in our class, you know?
exam time was like the
Yeah.
whole that whole year group would
Yeah.
come into the gymnasium. But look, now that we've shared some stories, hectic stories about our high school times, growing up, and I think we'll have our 10th year anniversary at the end of this year since we finished high school.
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
Some of you guys, yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
And at the end of this year, no, 2009.
No, it'll be next year. We graduated 2010.
Yeah, we graduate.
So it'll be next year.
Yeah, technically.
End of
yeah,
next
yeah.
year.
End of
So
next
9
year.
years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Close, roughly,
Half
almost a
life.
decade.
8 years, yeah.
Poor.
What would you advise to those kids that are in high school now that might be thinking of either just being mischievous or, causing a muck as we did?
I know for some of the people that caused the muck, not all of them,
Yeah.
they did it because in our school it was kind of like you gotta pass, get into uni,
Yeah.
get into a good grade.
Yeah.
Like it was like one avenue
Yeah.
for you. Everyone had one avenue
Yeah.
to go through,
Yeah.
and because they didn't see themselves going in that avenue, it was like I can do whatever I
Yeah.
want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing I learned is once you graduate, you realize there's a million different ways to get to wherever you want to be. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Take the path that's best for you.
Exactly.
So yeah, just for kids to relax.
Exactly.
take it
And
too
and,
serious.
and I like that point. I know we started off this conversation just with a bit of banter, a bit of laughs, but that path, that avenue after high school, like you grow up depending on which household you live in, which culture your family comes from, you're given a set that you're supposed to follow. Go to school, get good grades, go to uni, get a job, have a family, such as life, you know what I mean? But there's way more to life than that. And I think especially like growing up in my household, like if you didn't get into uni and graduate with like high distinctions, PhD, like you didn't make it, you know what I mean? And I think it's because of what our parents went through. And for them, like education, great career was the only best avenue that they could see for us. But a lot of kids now see it differently. You know, there's so many different opportunities, so many different trades, careers, non-uni based careers. You know, and I think it's something that we should be talking about with our kids.
I think nowadays a
Still
lot
in
of
love.
people are entrepreneurs. Like you see a lot of people either doing YouTube channels, making their own business.
Exactly,
online, You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
A clothing store, stuff like that. I reckon
Exactly.
nowadays the youth are able to get out there and do whatever they can.
Accessing
Even in high school.
accessing all these little opportunities.
No,
that
we
a lot of
didn't have
people
that
don't
back then. I remember literally going to the library to find books to do my assignments and exams with. You know what I mean?
Floppy disks.
Yeah, bro. I used
Floppy disk.
Yeah,
Remember the floppy disks?
to remember that, bro. What was it? 50, for 128 kilobytes?
On
Yeah.
the
And
stationary list, we had to get 50 of them.
Oh,
That's before USBs, man.
and you flip
Far
it.
out.
Windows
You
98.
you save on one side and then you flip it.
I remember. Nah, the USBs couldn't be.
No,
No,
yes,
floppy disk. I
Yeah.
remember hustling DVDs back in the days. Because I remember I used to be. I'm big in computers.
Yeah.
So I had a DVD player and you could write and read. And, you know when someone has that one movie, everyone's sharing. It's like, nah, give it to me. I'll put it on all these 10 discs,
Oh, yeah,
$5
burn it,
each
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like that. You know. And then it went to USBs, and now it's just like, nah.
It's amazing how
Everything's streamed.
things changed.
But now you can get, what is it? What is those ones that you store the
Hard drives.
hard drives, man? Terabyte and a hard drive. That's
Nah,
ridiculous,
SSD
bro.
drives, man.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, solid state
That's
drives.
ridiculous.
Yeah, you got a lot.
1 terabyte, man.
Yeah, more than a terabyte.
I think
I got a terabyte on my phone, like memory card.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
It's
Samsung.
memory card now.
Memory card.
Man, I can't even keep up, bro.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on these days.
sure you're
eh?
20?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
26, bro.
mate. He lived in the Pilbara for a few years. You know what I mean? Hasn't seen technology. Came back down.
You know me, bro. I still got the same phone from ages ago, bro. Yeah, but alhamdulillah, man.
Nah, I think for the kids, it's just do what you love, man. That's it. You know? Because
I
at the end
think-
of the day, when we grew up as young kids, like our parents always told us what they wanted. And we used to do and aim for things to please our parents, which is good. But in the end of the day, you can't be good at what pleases other people.
Yeah, so you're
You
lying.
can only be good at what pleases you. And obviously, if you're not going, you go in the right direction and you knowing what you love gets you in life somewhere.
But
You know?
we've had a completely different experience in school than a lot of people have had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like almost everyone that hasn't gone to AIC, if you talk to them about their school life, it just
different.
seems night and day.
Yeah.
You know, even other people that's gone to Muslim schools,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we sat down, we did all, you know what I mean? You go through the day and it was like, okay, that's completely different.
I think
to what we
just
did.
us in that time period in that school were just
It
different.
was the right mixture of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a small town. We all came here
Yeah.
in the early 90s and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We knew each other.
Exactly.
It was like a mix of like everyone. There was
Yeah.
Arabs, Indonesians, Malaysians, all different type of
Yeah.
Africans, Australians, and mixed between as well. Mixed parents and all
The
that sort of stuff.
troublemakers back in the day now, the quiet ones, man. Like, I've met, remember,
I know what you're talking about. Don't do it.
I remember some brothers, man, right now, like, I remember them, right now, some of them were like, they running their own business. They're
Yeah.
painting businesses. They're doing so good for themselves.
Not even that. There's
And teachers doubt them. Teachers, you say to
Yeah.
them, you guys are not going to make it in life if you continue doing what you're doing."
because for them
Yeah.
they were trying to fit these people into the whole norm of if you don't go to uni, you're a flop.
And the best, I have a mate, went to, his brother was in ESL. They didn't speak any English, none of that, right? So he's trying to learn English, he's trying to get with it, he's finding it, he's struggling. What
And
he
at
did
that
was-
point, we've had that 8 years of schooling advantage over that.
yeah.
brother.
You know what he did? He went in, he got a trolley business. Not trolley business, he went to go work as,
Trolley
pushing
boy.
the trolleys, about $1,000 a week around that. He started doing that, making enough money. And then he's trying to look for other work at the same time. And then another person, like, he's doing his job so well, other places are like, come down. And he's like, oh, I have a friend that works just as good as I do. I can bring him down.
Yeah.
So he paid, that guy would go, he'll get the pay for it, and
Yeah.
then he'll split it with him. He started doing it. He had like, he was raking in like probably 10 G's a week almost at
Yeah.
that point. He went to China, started
Mashallah.
buying some equipment, like construction equipment and
Yeah.
stuff like that. He saved up. Started a tow truck business here with that money.
Yeah.
Went to Africa, now has his own construction business.
Yeah.
He flies around the world every month doing whatever he
mashallah.
wants. And the dude was probably made fun of how many
Yeah.
times back at
Yeah.
school because he didn't speak English, you know
Exactly.
what I mean? And
Man,
didn't go to uni.
I respect
and
people like
didn't-
that.
Yeah.
We live in a society where all you need is a crack in the door.
Yeah.
All you need is that little
And the motivation.
exactly. No, the
The
motivation
discipline.
exactly. But then that motivation can also come from wanting to prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, a lot of people who doubted you. I remember I was having a chat with my friend, and he wanted to start getting back into gym, right? And better his health. And a lot of the people around him, family, friends, they all said, "Look, we know you. You're
Ain't
not
happening."
dedicated. It ain't happening." And that became the driving fuel for him to prove them wrong, nothing else, to prove them wrong that he can't do it. And the success that he's had.
I believe that is deep down him trying to prove himself right more than proving them wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people in that situation where they'll say, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And then just give up halfway through. Because
True.
proving people wrong is,
Yeah.
why do you care about their opinion?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once,
Proving
if
it, nah, but
it's the
exactly.
catalyst that made him go
Exactly.
for it. You know what I mean? It's a catalyst.
No, I agree.
That
with
probably pushed him at the start, and then he realized, mate, I'm doing good for myself. I'm
can
actually
do
pushing
this.
myself.
that. Yeah.
You know, and then
What other lies in school have you heard about, after school? Because there's always that. You have to do this in school. You have to do that. If you don't do this.
What other lies?
I remember they used to say, remember how we finished primary school and they used to be like, oh, when you go to high school, it's going to be different, this, like that. It's the same thing. It's really,
No,
it was
I
actually
thought-
the same thing, bro.
I thought once you finish high school, like that's it, you're gonna rest. Like you're done with schooling and everything.
Nah,
But
it's a whole different world, bro.
the other day I was driving past and I saw kids in the school oval having gym class, playing soccer. In their uniform, they've got the coach or the
sports
Physical
teacher.
sports
teacher,
teacher, phys ed teacher. They're reffing the game, and I just remember when the last time I just looked at them so stress free. Like what could be I just thought to myself, what could be their biggest stress right now? This person bumped me, made me drop my lunch.
Didn't get text back from that girl.
You get what I mean?
Like that. That's what
And then I look at myself now and I'm like, I would do anything to be back there. You get what I mean? Because I thought after high school, that's it. Like, because for me, that was my biggest worry. That was my biggest
in
stress.
high school-
Once you're done, I was like, yo, you're going to be an adult. You can do whatever the hell you want. It never works out that way.
In high school,
In
every
high school, We used to say, I wish.
I wish I
I
could get
just
fast
hit the
forward to
real
24. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Now I'm like, I wish I could rewind back to 14.
Yeah.
Every dollar you made in high school, you spent on yourself.
Oh,
You spent
yeah.
on whatever you wanted
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Nowadays, you get paid. Everything's everyone different hands in your pocket. It's coming out. You know what I mean?
You don't even see the hands.
direct debit.
You don't even see the hands.
You don't even see it, man.
Direct
You know what I
debit.
mean?
Just
You get paid today, tomorrow you're like, whoa. I don't know if I've got enough left for.
I
seeing the
remember,
hand.
I'll tell you a funny story. I remember when I went to Africa. You know, people in Africa, they think that we're millionaires here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They actually think we're millionaires. You know, and I had a mobile phone, and the day I was flying out, my cousin's like, "You're going back to Australia.
yeah.
Isn't
You
that,
buy-
isn't that where, like, in your backyard, you can just dig the money? Like,
Yeah.
That's where.
Or you get it from the wall.
Yeah, or you get it on the wall.
You know the
just
biggest
like-
mistake I made?
Yeah, they're like, isn't there a window where you just press what you need and
it
the money
goes
comes
out?
out? And I'm
Oh,
like,
the
I
ATM,
wish,
right?
yeah, I wish, yeah. And then they're like, you're going back there.
Yeah,
just give
leave
me
your phone.
Just give me back. Just like let me have the phone.
Now this
And
brother.
then you know what I said? I
you,
said,
got, you got finessed.
No,
No,
not
no.
only that. He's got the stress of going back to reality.
Yeah.
Now he just lost his phone.
No, I didn't.
connected
No,
to
I
work
didn't
and
lose it.
everything. Oh,
I said to him, bro. I said to him, you know, like I'm going back there. I
he
haven't got a
finished his
job.
way out.
I said I haven't got a job.
Yeah.
So there's no job there for me at the moment, and I don't know how long it will take me. I need this. Literally, it was S6 or something when it was really
yeah.
good. And then he goes, all right, no worries. The other day, a couple of months later, when I was in Perth, he messaged me on Facebook.
Did you get a job?
He goes, like he means like, oh, my
greedy
my
cousin.
stingy cousin, my greedy cousin has left me. You know? And then I'm like, well, mate, well, you know, it's
It's how it is. The mistake I made was doing my shopping on the way to Somalia.
Oh, I did that
That's
mistake
the
too.
mistake. The
I did
first
that
time you
mistake
go,
too.
that's
Bro,
the
you know what I
mistake
did
you
while I
made.
went there? I started getting myself. You know, I went to a tailor in Dubai. I started to get me some formal pants and baggy ones. You know, like where you can fit 3 feet. And I just got it, arrived at the airport, and I just blend in with them. But then next thing I thought, because it was like recent, it was like 5 years ago. Next thing I saw, people in Africa, like Somalia, they actually
Well dressed.
well dressed, man. And some of them, they got a name for them, like, you know, Dakaranduf, you know, something like that, you know, like someone who's got
Dress
the
well,
culture
yeah,
of
yeah.
Western, but has never left the country,
Yeah.
you know? And it's, and I was like, I feel ashamed. I was like, man, I gotta put this back. Take me home straight away so I can get changed. When we were in high school, we had no worries. You know, like no one's asking for you. But the day you leave high school and you become an adult, it's like,
Well, we had worries, but we didn't know how small those worries really were. Because think about
No, 'cause
people in high
I
school.
see my sister going through those worries now, and
And
I'm
it's-
like, yo, enjoy your time, enjoy these worries, because there will come a time where these worries are multiplied by 1,000.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Like, they're talking about like, oh, I got an exam in 2 weeks. I'm like, I got to pay my rent, otherwise I can't go to work tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
And if you don't go to work, you can't pay your rent. You can't pay your
the
rent.
phone bill goes, everything. You know what
Everything
I mean?
goes. You're homeless. You're whatnot.
You're homeless.
You know what I mean?
What a
It's crazy. It's crazy. And the thing is, okay, look, even just like the further away you get from high school, the more the worries become. I just got married. You know what I mean? But overnight, the things that I worry about and the things I used to worry about pre-December changed. Even though I knew I was going to get married, everything changed.
And then you
Because
get-
up until December, if I didn't pay rent, I could just go back to dad's house.
True.
What am I going to do now?
But here's the thing: now is when you have a kid, it's going to change again on you.
It's going to change
then
again.
you're going to get old, and it's going to
Exactly.
change again on you.
I feel it's a good worry.
Hassan isn't here today, but we had a chat about this and responsibilities increasing long time ago.
Well, he said it
And
to you on the podcast when you were like, "It's such a big thing getting married." He looked at you and said, "Wait till you have a kid."
Exactly.
The first thing he said.
It's
you know
going to
what
keep
I mean?
going. Then one kid becomes two, and then two becomes three.
Then grandchildren.
Grandchildren.
The midlife crisis hits. You're sitting there like,
All of that.
but it's a good worry, man. Or like, you know, you come back from home and you're doing a 12-hour shift, you come home and you see the kids there and stuff. That all that worry, you leave it outside the house.
"Say, man, there
you
ain't
know?
no rainbow."
So it's a
without
good
bit of
worry
rain."
to have. It's a good worry to have.
It is
Yeah,
until you hit that point where you can't pay the rent.
Oh yeah.
No, what we're saying is the responsibilities
Is
and everything
great,
is
yeah.
a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, you think, when you're in high school and everything, you think the stuff that you're going through, because that's all you know, is the biggest issue in the world.
Question.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people, especially parents and family members, friends, they expect you to know what you want to do after high school. How long does it take after high school to fully figure out what you...
If I had a child,
Everyone's
people
different,
go
bro.
through.
Everyone's
they
different,
finish.
yeah.
They finish high school, thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do in uni. On their last year, or after they've done their masters at uni, they decide, yo, this is not an industry that I like.
Well,
Especially people that I know a few people that actually studied medicine, That's 6, 7, 8,
That's
9
what I
years
was
of your
trying to go
life.
through.
Exactly.
So I did my
After 6, 7, 9 years, you decide, hey, this is not what I want to do. I want to go be a mechanic, or
I want to
you know,
travel more. I don't want to stay in one spot.
not only that.
Just in
So
general.
a lot of people have passion making coffee, for example,
Yeah.
and they couldn't do that. They wanted that certificate because of their parents.
I reckon kids have to go out there and actually see what these jobs are. Because for
Exactly.
me, I try to get into medicine. So here we have the ATAR, which is like your percentage. That's good.
Yeah.
And you have a UMAT test. I did really well in the UMAT. I think I got like 89 or something.
Yeah.
Like a few percent
Mashallah.
shy to get into. And the weird thing was our year, if you didn't know, was
Yeah.
the last year you can go from high school straight into medical school.
Okay.
After that, you had to do a 3-year bachelor course of science. In your bachelor of science course,
Yeah.
then you have to sit a GAMSAT test.
Yeah.
I sat there and I calculated it.
Yeah.
You know how long it would have taken?
Yeah.
You have to do 3 years of a bachelor.
Yeah.
Then you have to wait a year to sit the GAMSAT.
Yeah.
Then you have to luckily pass that GAMSAT. Then you have to wait the year after that to get into medical school.
That's 5 years already.
And then there's another 7 years, and you know your residency, and that's
All that
all
stuff.
not failing. You know.
Yeah.
So I remember I got into uni. I did what bachelor course? I did bachelor of medical. What was it? Something.
Yeah.
Bachelor of something. I did it for a year.
Yeah.
I was miserable at the end of it. I was doing really well. I was getting
Yeah.
high distinctions and stuff, but I was miserable.
Yeah.
I went back to school. I went
Yeah.
back to QDEL. I spoke to the teacher there, and he goes, "I have a friend that's a student that I teach that's in studying now.
Yeah.
He's finished his studying. He's working as a doctor.
Yeah.
Go speak to him." He gave me his number. I went in and I just watched this guy work, and the amount of paperwork and all this sort of stuff. I was like, "This is not the job I thought."
Yeah.
It's a lot of stress.
I was
It's a
reading
lot of stress.
I was reading a stat that says, work until you're 60. What's the retirement age here? 65, 60.
65, yeah.
65.
What's the life expectancy? 75.
80.
Work until 65 to live for 20 years or 15 years.
Mm.
You know?
15 years, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that
That's
yesterday,
the-
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally feel like I think in the end the goal that I want to have is to say not work for someone else.
Yeah.
Work for myself.
I'm exactly with you. That
Yeah.
You know?
the advice I would give to the people in high
because
school
I feel
is
like
travel, go see everywhere. Because
Yeah.
if you only know, let's say, 50, 60 careers
Yeah.
out of the possible, God knows how much, you don't know exactly what you want to do. You don't know.
Have you just met a person that tells you about their role or what they do in a company for a company,
And you're like-
and you're just like, yo, how's that role even created? Like, I've never heard that.
And
role.
how do you even get into something like
How
that?
do you find that?
Yeah.
What do you have to do? What do you have to study?
It's who you
and
know,
this
bro.
guy
It's who
probably
you know. It's always who
not
you know.
not only
Nobody
that,
knew.
but then it's just like you start with something, but then you can always build on it. You know what I mean? Like some guy that tells you, give me a random one. Studied
As a pilot.
as a pilot. Somehow joins the Air Force for a little bit, comes back. Now he's
Rescuing people.
rescue
in-
people.
in-
After that, now he does the evacuation plans for the airports, for example.
Yeah.
How do you get into that from the beginning? You know what I mean? Like your experiences build on things. So I think the key thing is look at yourself and know that high school isn't
Isn't the
the end. It's the beginning. High school is like
Well,
that
that's
training.
when your
that
life
training-
Think about it. It's school. It's a place to learn.
Exactly.
You learn everything or learn the basics of what you can in school to function, and then you go out and do what you want to do.
But then I've got
You know what I mean?
I've got a thing that's I think a lot of schools should start doing. When we were in high school, we were never taught about how to pay your taxes.
We were.
Not really.
We had Mr. Lau. Mr. Lau taught us all how to do our
Okay,
tax
I didn't have your
brackets.
class and I left.
Yeah.
No,
No, but that's not- that's not-
I
but I know-
the reality of the
but-
world.
Exactly.
The
Your
reality.
bank- how to set up a bank.
Ours
account,
was.
all these things.
It wasn't curricular. It wasn't from the
That's what I'm
curriculum.
saying.
You know
I
what
feel
I
like
mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like
Yeah.
It should be.
Nah,
It's
but the thing about ARC, they used to. Don't you remember they used to follow the curriculum, but they used to go overboard.
Overboard.
Oh,
But
man.
I'm saying across the board now.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember I went to
you finish school.
I went to my first job, man. They're like, fill out this, what's it called?
Tax
TFN?
declaration.
Tax file number?
TFN, tax
Yeah,
file
yeah,
number.
yeah.
I said, what's a tax file number? Oh, you gotta pay tax. Hey?
No.
What's going on here, man? I was actually lost.
Exactly.
The biggest
Never
one
told
was
me that.
people that get two jobs. One of the guys I know,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
making so much. He was making money out of one job, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm doing really good. I have plenty of time. I'm gonna find another job." He finds another job. He's like, "This is good pay." He's laughing, thinking he's gonna make all this money. Taxman comes through, took half of his money, man.
Yeah.
That's
And
45
he was
cents.
crying. He's
a
like, "Why
dollar,
did I
bro.
get a second job?
Yeah.
Man, you never heard of tax before?" He's like,
Yeah.
"No."
Exactly. So I think I think
Life
the point-
lessons, like
exactly,
actual
life
life
lessons, and the most important thing is high school is not the end. It's the beginning of your life.
Just look at it. Just drive around the city, man. I look at the people there. To me, one of the things that pushes me into starting my own business and never working for someone else is when you drive down the street in the city of Perth, and you see all these people with the business suits. Man, to me, inside they're not happy. They not look happy.
Yeah.
For me,
Uncle G, eh?
Mate.
Pulling some gems, man.
No, they don't look happy, bro.
Yeah,
Because
That's true.
man, how can you be away for 15, 12 hours from your kid, your family every day? Who cares if that paycheck is big in the end of the day?
I understand,
You know
but
what I
then you need those people for the world to run.
You need it, yeah, you need it. But
If
at the same time,
everybody
I'm
decides
talking about
I'm gonna become-
no, I'm talking about personally me.
a homebody.
Personally me.
Yeah.
Like I don't see myself.
I agree with you on that.
Sitting down
I'm
10
with you.
hours, giving 10 hours of my day for someone.
I don't
Where
want-
I can put that 10 hours. There's a saying that says, work your job full time, but work part time on yourself. The times where that really matters are the times where people are resting after work, the weekends. Those are the times where you build your future yourself.
Because a lot of people, they work their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
When they finish their work, it's their rest time.
Yeah.
Their rest
So they
time.
never did anything to improve themselves. They were improving the company
Exactly.
or whatever the
Exactly.
job is. For me, I'm exactly with you. I do not want my kid to be sick. You know, my wife calls me and goes, well, you know, your son's
Well,
sick
you have
or
to
your
beg.
daughter's
You have
sick.
to beg, bro.
And then you have to go to work and go, I need annual leave. I got to
sick
go. I
leave,
got to do,
this,
you know what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
I don't want a family member to get sick. I need to fly overseas and
Yeah.
look, I don't have enough.
Is it really fair? You work 365 days a year, and you get 330 days to work, and you only get 4 weeks off annual leave.
You get a month out of the year.
a month out of the. Is that really?
You work 11 months, you get 1 month off.
Yeah.
And if maybe a week add up to sick leave. So
Out of sick leave.
They just got to
So you want to travel to Africa? That's already taking 2-3 days of your travel there.
2-3 days
Well,
back.
Or you got a family member or a cousin getting married in Sydney. You got to sacrifice your Africa trip to go there. You know, it's
Yeah.
So I'm always about
It's all about
doing your own
sacrifice,
thing.
Now, see, working a 9 to 5 job pretty much means your life has come down to Saturday, because Sunday is recharge and depressed
but
day.
by
That's what I'm saying.
Sunday, by the time sun sets, you're already in work mode. You're already
Yeah.
thinking
Not
about
the
work
sunset's 4 p.m., brother. 4 p.m. on a Sunday. You don't want to go out. You don't want to do anything.
tomorrow.
You
Here's
know
the
what I mean?
thing.
You're already depressed because you got to get out of bed the next morning.
Yeah.
I don't want to like
Work.
put everyone that's doing a 9 to 5 down or anything, but to me, all I know is firstly, if you love your job, it's because there are some jobs there, it's 6 figures, you get whatever
Yeah.
time off, it's amazing, that's
Amazing,
cool.
yeah.
But if you're stuck in that like 9 to 5 grind, what are you doing it for? Where's it leading you to? Like, are
Exactly.
you saving your money for something else? Are you
Exactly.
moving up the ladder? If you're just
How
staying
long do you
in
see
this,
yourself doing it?
yeah, if you're just doing that thing over and over again and your money's just flying, you're not saving, you're stuck in a, you're like one of the hamsters in that wheel. You're not
Yeah.
going
Bro,
anywhere.
I look at my dad. You know, he was driving taxi for 15 years in Australia, and in the last 9 years, man, he's more happy than what he was that 15 years, bro. Even though taxi was booming at the time here, and
But he
and
worked hard for that 15 years to be happy.
Yeah,
that
to
9
be
years.
happy. But what he told me was simply is,
What he sacrificed those 15 years
yeah, I
was too great.
sacrificed 15 years to be happy for the rest of my life, because it's you got to go through a struggle. And who knows? All those people doing 9 to 5 have a plan. They probably have a plan.
Probably.
Exactly. So
Or-
that is the point.
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
plan.
Have a
Have a
plan.
plan,
Have a
yeah.
plan.
I mean, don't just aimlessly.
Or it's like what you said. They probably love what they're doing and continue. If you love
that's
what
what
you're
you love
doing,
it, go
no one's
for it.
gonna say don't do it. But I think in the end of the day, it comes down to what you do. What you love. Do what
That's what
keeps
it
you
comes down
happy.
to.
Do what keeps you happy.
Whether you're at work, whether you're in high school.
Whether
You
you're
know
in high school,
You know
yeah.
what luxury I have now that I didn't have in high school? Now, if I find a job and I don't like the manager, I quit. I find another job, I bite my teeth and
Absolutely,
I quit.
'cause
There
you
were
know-
some teachers I want to walk out on, but couldn't.
Couldn't.
I couldn't do that.
No, but hey, in ASC, we made them quit.
Hey, don't be putting our stuff out there like that, man. Don't putting our stuff
Hey,
out
that
there.
was slip,
Hey,
man.
but
I
here's the
thought I did say I wasn't going to confirm or deny anything, but
Listen, our teachers in school, they either fell off or they were legends.
Yeah.
It was either that.
Yeah.
They either we had some like the ones that stayed through.
You guys truly
were
ran them out
legends.
there.
Strong
Oh,
teachers.
there were some teachers where nobody
Could break them.
nobody came late.
Yeah.
Nobody will talk out of
Oh,
turn.
what are you talking about? People running to class.
Yeah.
People on the bill, people running
That's
to
exactly
class.
what I was talking about.
They're running to class, man.
You know, the funny thing is, a couple of weeks ago, I went and took my car to get serviced. And the place that I went to get it serviced was some of the AIC boys.
Oh.
One of them was a year older than us, a year younger than us. I don't know if you remember Abdul Mahayman Al-Asadi.
Yes.
Was in our class, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking just like this about high school and memories and reminiscing. And just as we start talking about maths and brother Nabil, his son walks in.
Oh wow.
His son walks in, and we start
Wow.
reminiscing, and we just start talking about, how like even towards him, he was like at home he wouldn't ask me about homework or anything. He was my dad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna remind you so that you have an edge over the students. You do your homework, you don't do your homework. We'll talk about it in class. You know what I mean? But in class, it was like he was harsher to me than the students. Set an example, like.
He just didn't want to see like he's favoring his child.
Exactly. So that is one teacher where some of the things he said still rings now. Maths is easy if you understand the formula.
I love
The
maths.
equation is easy if you understand the formula. Things like this, like we used to soak in everything he tells us. Nobody would speak out of turn. Nobody would be late to this class. Any other class, we would wag right by the class. Look at the window. The teacher sees us. The students see us.
They used
You
to.
don't care.
Glad we used to. You were in our school. We used to go to the basketball court, play basketball. The teachers in class, not a soul in the room. He would come out with the roll to the basketball court and start marking us off, man. Like,
what a
that's
G,
man.
That's how it was.
What a G,
But then
man.
you have classes like Brother Nabil where by the time he walks in, everybody's ready, homework is done. I can honestly say that was the one class where I never messed around with my homework.
But here's the thing.
Was he strict or is he just chill?
He just had this persona.
He had this-
Whereas I respect you as an adult. And that's what a lot of teachers missed, I think.
I respect
They
you
wanted to
respecting
teach us like
They-
children. Whereas him, it was like, I'll give you the respect you deserve if you give it back.
That's
There
the way-
you
That's
exactly.
what it should be.
So
bro.
we
Yeah.
come in, he won't belittle you. You know, okay, this guy expects first day he comes in, homework to be left on his desk. So you just drop it as you go in, you sit down, he won't bother you. Later on, throughout the class, we'll just pull you to the side and be like, hey, where's your homework? If you didn't do it, you know. I think that was the biggest thing. He gave us the respect that we were looking for. Whereas a lot of other teachers was, my say goes.
Oh, that's
I
it.
don't care what you think. You do as you're told. I'm the boss. You're the student. You know what I mean? And that was what was different for him. And because he did it that way, he actually commanded more of our respect than any teacher in the school, including.
But
I'll stay quiet on that
I
one.
did the same. I was really cool with all my teachers.
Yeah.
I would come in 20 minutes late,
Yeah.
and if anyone dared to come in 20 minutes late, they
Yeah.
get their throat slit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But that was it. I've never, because a lot of kids are really cheeky to the. You know what I mean?
They
But
come in,
if
cause
you-
the main ruckus.
if you treat your teacher like a human,
Yeah.
like Mr. Lau, I used to talk about
Boxing
martial arts,
and- yeah.
boxing. I used to watch
I
the
remember.
fights and in the middle of class sometimes with him because we had that connection. You know what I mean? A lot of people see him as a teacher and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, but AIC and going through school, there's a lot of lessons you pull
Yeah.
from it in it. But the biggest one I'll tell, like the biggest lesson is
Yeah.
enjoy it. Like that
I
time
think
in
that's
that
one
4
we can all
years.
get behind.
I'm telling you, once those 4 years are over, you wish you were back.
I was
You wish
actually
you were
sad
back.
when
You-
AIC was done. I was like, yo, like
You
I'm
know-
not gonna
you know-
get this again.
You know how it ended for us, man? It ended
For me, it ended with a little ceremony with all you boys. I remember I was living to Sweden because I went to Africa for a year. I came back, I stayed for a year, and then I left to Sweden. And by the time I came back, I graduated in Sweden, and these boys were already done as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had teachers falling off the stage, people getting the wrong certificates.
No way.
Bro, there was
Oh,
a
yeah.
guy in English
Remember the
class.
graduation?
There's a guy in English class, and they're giving an award out for literature, and they say his name, and he just looks around and goes, and gets up and grabs the award.
Yeah.
Like they messed up. Yeah.
Wrong awards.
Yeah, remember Martley as well? We had the stage next to
Yeah.
the wall, and there was probably like a half a meter gap, maybe about a meter gap,
Yeah.
and then he just tried to shift his chair, and then just went straight back. No one helped him; they just laughed. The teacher had to run around to help him.
I missed that.
Yeah, and you know how they had the they have the gown
Yeah.
and the hat. You throw the hat.
Yeah.
Everyone threw it forwards. All the girls threw it up, all the guys just threw it forward into the all the parents are in front of us, and the teacher
Oh.
they threw it that way rather than up.
What would you expect?
Yeah.
AIC.
Ended with a bang.
AIC.
The way
Now,
it started.
100%, 100%. And I think, like, if I was to sum it up, I agree with you 100%. High school is part of the journey. And that ceremony, that graduation of high school, is the end of the first chapter in your life. You know what I mean? You finish high school when you're, 17, 18? That is when your life starts. What you do then for the next 10 years after high school determines pretty much how your life is going to be lived. So you have that 10-year threshold, 10-year
It's
gap
a
to
setup.
figure out yourself.
Those 10 years is a setup. Like
Exactly.
a lot of people think when they finish high school or uni, it's kind of like, now I'm set up to do my life. Like, no, you got the information. Now you got to
Exactly.
put that work to set up your future.
And don't be afraid to try different things, because
Oh,
look, in
Travel.
order for an arrow to fly,
Yeah.
it has to be pulled backwards. You know what I mean? in order for it to be flung out of the bowl, it has to be pulled backwards. So sometimes you hit a curb, you know, one of your tires will be hanging off the cliff, but eventually you'll get it right. You find your lane and stick to it.
You learn more from your failures.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's it for me, man.
Nah, just in high school is the time where you can just fail. Don't be angry. Don't get yourself down if you're failing, because when you get to the real world, you might not have a chance to fail. You know?
Yeah.
You got to get things right. So yeah, just enjoy your time, be yourself, and do things that you love, that will determine who you are for the next 40, 30 years.
I reckon you have the most friends in high school too, man.
And
Back
Oh yeah,
at it.
you think those friends are all for life?
Nah, maybe one or two, handful of them.
Yeah, handful
You see
of
them
them.
around, they're
Yeah.
acquaintances.
Nah, but
Yeah.
it's not
They're
because you're not
No,
friends
no.
with them. It's just
But that's
that
life.
life takes
So
you-
that's life.
exactly.
Yeah,
They
that's
gotta
life.
understand that.
It's one of the
life.
things that
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
prepares you for.
Yeah. So don't expect you're gonna be hanging out with every single one you're hanging out with in high school.
One advice I'd probably give to the youth: don't stress, bro. Relax, enjoy your life, take it easy.
As the great
You
Elmi
you
says,
finish high school.
such is life. Life is short.
Such is life. Well,
It's
life
true.
is
I
short,
believe
man.
that. I believe
Look,
that.
your parents want you to do this.
Without
Respect your
disrespect-
parents without disrespecting your parents.
Tell them
Figure
what
out
you
what you're
wanna
gonna do, and before you do anything, put Ilahi first. You know, put your salah first. Nothing will work out in your life if
Without
if
your
you're missing
prayers.
your salah. If you don't put God first, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, then everything else will come with ease. Just kick back, relax, enjoy youth. You know, while you can, you figure out what you got to do.
I feel
Don't
yeah,
rush,
Om-
man.
Om
Take
is-
it easy.
Om is
Take it easy.
absolutely right with that,
Yeah.
because I feel like in anything you do in life, I mean, comes Allah first. Secondly, I think your parents.
Yeah.
The day your parents are not happy with you,
You feel it.
nothing would work for you.
You
Yeah.
feel it, man.
You
It's
feel it.
heartbreak.
That week will be you would be like, what's
Disastrous.
going on? You'd have so many obstacles in front of you.
Yeah.
But the day you keep them happy, because the dua of the parents is very powerful, man. Especially
Yeah,
like
very
you know,
powerful,
mom,
100%.
that it says, yeah. So
Yeah.
keep your parents happy. If you feel like they disagree with you and you feel like you're doing right,
You can
there's a-
disagree.
yeah, you can disagree. It's
Just
not
don't be
nothing wrong.
disrespectful.
but don't be disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know how
And ask for the
how
opportunity.
heartwarming it is when your mum hears you saying "mum" hoyo to her. It's just that just calms her down, you know. So just don't raise your voice. Don't just always look for keeping them happy, and by keeping them happy, do what's right within you, but don't go across that border where you're disrespecting them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's us
Wraps
for
it
the
up.
day, man. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Uncle G,
No,
we're gonna
G-Unit.
see you next
Uncle
week.
G.
G-Unit, huh?
Hopefully we see G Unit
Yeah.
next week.
Nah,
I think that's how I'm gonna introduce him next time.
Nah.
Gene is a bit old.
G man,
You, man.
Uncle G,
Uncle G.
Uncle G.
You gotta keep it.
Uncle
You know what
G.
I'm saying?
Yeah, Uncle G.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on
No
board,
worries.
my man.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
filling
Thank
the spot for the last couple of weeks.
Thank you.
And you can say thank you after this because we didn't blow you up on the air. There's a lot of
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
you,
yeah.
Gotta say
I think lunch is on him today,
Lunch is
man.
on him.
We're gonna go get that lunch. Stay tuned and catch you guys next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And, you know the biggest thing I thought was just you had more time. I don't know why I thought you
Yeah,
had more time
yeah.
as an
Are
adult.
we getting back into this or what?
We actually talked about this going back in
You guys, bro.
Did you pass out or something?
Nah, I thought you guys cut, man. I was like, yeah.